Whereas the thinking subject is the subjectivity, and that is that process we called last time the process of automaton, of the automaton. We are thinking of the software here, not the hardware. We're not concerned with the fact that it can be a machine, a computer. The process, the instance is, let's say, ontologically speaking, but it would be more adequate to say epistemologically thinking. Thinking from an epistemological position, this so-called software in inverted commas is the phenomenon. It's not even the phenomenon; it's the instance. It's the instance of reality. It's the plane of signification, of producing signification, of producing meaning. So it's always the subjectivity, which an instance of subjectivity which produces a meaning, a signification of some sort. So so subjectivity or automation is in a way the same thing. It is the automaton is not more and not less than the signifying chain. The automaton we find in the four fundamental concepts of psychoanalysis in Lacan, for example. The automaton of signification we find in the concept of language in De Saussure. And it's also the computing reason we find in, I don't know, thinkers like Turing or, you know, the pioneers of the computer sciences. It is also so this form of intelligence, this reason of computing, is also even in Turing. It's the automaton, again very similar to the automaton of signification in linguistics or in Lacan. It's that. Prior to that, if you remember his papers, he's talking about intuition and something which escapes computing, which leads us to the algorithm and to the computing. But once you enter this, you are already in the automaton of signification. So derealized abstraction, or one exempt from materiality, yet seeking to instill itself as the only relevant reality, the abstraction of thought that cancels the real and acts in its stead, is the object of Marxist political, economic, philosophical, and epistemological critique, argues Zon-Rettel. So he invites us to conceive of a materiality determined, of a materially determined abstraction he calls real abstraction. So we can understand, but I can, putting it in Marx's own terms, the ones I just quoted, we can see abstraction, we can formulate abstraction in terms of objective thinking and in terms of subjective thinking. Marx problematized. Here, Zon-Rettel tries to do the opposite. So he invites us to conceive of a materially determined abstraction he calls real abstraction. So this abstraction is materially determined, but it is not a reification. It is not an abstraction turned into matter. Rather, it's the other way around. It's the matter, the material being formulated in terms of pure formalism, pure abstraction. This abstraction is the product of thought, and when put into social action, social operation, it produces real effects, and these effects, when treated as such, as material effects, as effects of reality, they are once again just that, just effects of reality. They are not the abstraction that they were the effect of the product of initially. Okay, this will become clear, I assume, as we go through the text. So von Rettel says, forms of thought and forms of society thing in common. They are both forms. The Marxian mode of thought is characterized by a conception of form which distinguishes it from all other schools of thinking. It derives from Hegel, but this is only so as to deviate from him again. For Marx, form is time-bound. So this is an introduction of the moment or the aspect of historicity as a key element of Marxism. So I'm continuing the quote from von Rettel. So for Marx, form is time-bound. It originates, dies, and changes within time. The cognitive capacity, so end of quote. The cognitive capacity belongs to the realm of thought, but its effects in the reality belong to the realm of the real and the material. This is what I explained before going into the quote, just put differently here. So the cognitive capacity belongs to the realm of thought, but its effects in the reality belong to the realm of the real and the material. So the chasm between the real and thought is never breached. And this is what, for example, Laruelle argues for, that the non-philosophical thinking never bridges this chasm, but it also never affirms the paradox of the chasm, because the affirmation of the paradox is another assumption about the necessity, although always already failed, but always already assumed, a necessity of a unification of the two. No, according to Laruelle, according to Marx, according to von Rettel, this chasm is not supposed to be bridged, and there is no romantic paradox about it. That's just not bridged. So the chasm between the real and thought is never bridged, claims von Rettel in his project of Marxist epistemology, and the materialist science does not care to do so.